What's going on, everyone? You're back with Jono for another quick math lesson. Today we're going to have a look at finding the perimeter of most 2D shapes. So just before we get into how to actually do it, we need to know that the perimeter is basically just the distance around the outside of a shape. And that concept of outside is really important. Anything within a 2D shape, we can actually ignore moving forward. The way that I always think about this is in video games or movies, you might hear a character say, oh, we've got to secure the perimeter. That means they want to secure the outside of their base, right? They don't care about securing what's inside the base. That's in the base, that's secure already. So having people patrol outside that area is really important. You can't have any weak spots in your defenses on the outside. So just make sure that we've got the perimeter is the distance around the outside of our shape. In order to get these ones right, as long as you've got a pencil and you can add two numbers together, you're going to get these 100% correct. Make sure that we are spending a little bit of time if you find these a little bit difficult, and you are allowed to get your paper a little bit messy. That is totally reasonable. So just moving forward, taking your time and using your pencil will get you full marks. So the only thing we really need to know in order to get these perimeter questions right is what that little dash means on our shapes. So if we've got two lines with the exact same dash, it means they've got the exact same distance, or they're kind of like pairs. So in this example here, this side and this side both have side length of 4 centimeters. And then because these two side lengths both have the same double dash, we know that they've got the same side length as well. So just being aware of that actually gets through most of the kind of theory behind perimeter. That's all we need to know. So in order to get this correct, all we've got to do is trace our pencil around the shape that's already there. And every time we finish a side length, we write down how far we've walked in that direction. So if I start here up in this top corner and I walk down all the way until that turn, I've done 4 centimeters. So all I've got to write is 4 plus. And then when I go all down this way, I've done another 7 centimeters. So I've plussed 7. And then I just have to go back to where I started, where I don't have any overlap. So this is where you're going to use a light pencil over the top of your shape in order to have this down as well. So now when I go back up here, because that's the same as its other side, that has to be another 4 centimeters, so plus 4. And finally, to get all the way home, I just cruise down this way, which is another plus 7. Just add those up together and we'll get the answer of 22. And we need to leave our units at the very end. If you just leave 22, you might only get 1 out of 2, which is really annoying because you've done all the maths correct, but we've definitely gone 22 centimeters because this is a measurement of a distance. If you don't have the units, it can get a little bit confusing. So sometimes they actually get even easier than that. This one doesn't have any pairs that are the same, so we just have to do the exact same thing. As long as we gently trace around the outside, we add up the 3 numbers, happy days. So if I start at the top here, you can trace down here. I've definitely gone 11 meters. Then I have to come all the way over this way, which is plus 16. And finally, I have to get back to my original position, which is just back to the top, which is another 14 meters. So this one's nice and easy. 16 plus 14 is 30, plus that 11 is 41 meters. And that is the distance around the outside of that triangle. So for some, like this one here, there are shortcuts, but we're just going to do it in the same fashion that we did previously, just to see that this method will always work, and then we'll do the shortcut after that. So each one of these side lengths has to be 8. They've all got the same little dash, so we know that's true. So if I start here, I go up, that's 8, plus 8, plus 8, plus 8 plus 8, and I've walked all the way around, crossing off each one just to make sure I haven't missed one. This is equal to 40, and that is my final answer. Because there's no units there, I don't have to put units at the end of mine, but usually your questions will get units with them. The other way that we could have done this one is seeing that there were 5 equal side lengths that were all of side length 8. So that means we just had to walk 8 5 times. 8 5 times is all we had to do. 8 multiplied by 5 is equal to 40. Either way, this is correct. Just whichever method works for you is going to be totally fine. Finally, you might get a hybrid question like this where we've got some pairs and some non-pairs, but it's totally the same thing. As long as you pick a point and get back to it, writing down every kind of distance that you've taken, you're going to get it 100% correct. So if I start down here, all I've got to do is to go up to this first term, that's 6, plus these two have to both be 5, so I've got 5 plus 5. Down on this side, because it's pairs with the other, is another 6. And then finally walk all the way back, plus 8, and that's going to be my final answer. 6 plus 6 is 12, plus the 2 5s is 22. That final 8 gives me 30. That's all we've got to do for these ones. So as long as you take your time to trace over the top and really write down what you're doing at each step, I guarantee you're going to get full marks for perimeter. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later.